I wonder are on a mission. Recently today we had Ed Gordon go up against Omarosa Newman, who is the top ranking African American woman in Washington, D.C. under the Trump administration. She was there to talk about the murder of her father and her brother. But for some reason, Ed did not care to hear this story. They do what they typically do. They pivot towards another story. So here you have a conflict of interest. You have Ed Gordon wanting to talk about Mr. Trump addressing the police as far as their dealings with thugs and how to treat a thug, versus Omarosa, who's a black woman, who's there to talk about an issue that black people have to deal with within the black community, within black families, a death of a loved one by a police officer. I mean, she was trying to keep it real. I want to talk about my father and my brother. But instead, what we have here is Ed turning this scenario into about Trump and the brutality of people. But it was not that, because Mr. Trump said, thugs, fool. If you watch the tape, the Trump man, Mr. Trump, said thugs. And for some reason, you didn't focus on that when you showed that clip of Mr. Trump saying put their head in crooked. But whatever the case may be, this is an Ed and Omarosa show right now. They're going to be the most talked about and trended story right now. And what it's showing is that black people are still not ready to get their act together. Black people still go back and forth with each other. And the liberal blacks and the blacks who are in power in media continue to suppress the White House blacks who are in this administration, who want to make a change and create policy of change for the black community. Previously I talked about the Congressional Black Caucus and how they block money into going into the black communities. But you know what? We can't talk about economics and political and policies, economic policies and things that deal within the community. We have to go into this thing about the whole thug and Trump and cops when you ask this lady to come on your platform, knowing who she is and who she's connected to, and letting her tell her personal side of the reality of her pain, of understanding what black on black crime is about and police brutality that has disrupted her life. Because she has had the police disrupt her life and learn about her brother Jack, which you guys haven't done your own homework on. So I got a message to Ed Gordon and the black journalism, including April, who's out there. Y'all need to stop trying to disrupt our community. You're not helping black community people. Forget the fact that if you're a liberal or you're a conservative or you're for Trump or you're for ex-Hillary or you're a Bernie Sanders. These people are irrelevant. What is relevant is that we look like buffoonery while the Latino coalition, the Asian coalition, all these other coalitions are moving forward with wealth and economic platforms that they're building under this administration. Why can't you guys slow your roll and say, what can we do to build wealth in the black community? We know that there's pain and brutality. We know that we will have things come from this White House we don't all agree with, that Mr. Trump says or disagrees with. But to attack the highest ranking black woman in this country and go after her when she's trying to share her pain is stupid. We need money in our community. We need economic platforms of businesses, not government imposed programs. And if you're not going to work with this administration, what you're doing is setting us back. So I would say to Omarosa, continue on to work with your team in creating that legislation that is needed for the people that are in need of it, which is black people. Because we have to move through the buffoonery. We have to move through the buffoonery of the Roland Martins and the Ed Gordons and the Aprils that are out there that are full of venom on top of the Congressional Black Caucus that want to suppress and push us back versus putting money and wealth and relationship incomes into the black community. Let me say this to every black American that will at least listen to what I have to say. For you to think that we're going to move forward under the buffoonery of the previous president or the previous president administration, you are wrong. Here's an administration that is reaching its hand out saying, I want to work with you. And Mr. Trump, there are blacks who want to work with you. Omarosa, I thank you for trying and continue to try and continue to push forward and continue to put yourself on the front line with Negroes who are full of drama against other Negroes. We don't need that. We don't want that. And we stand against that.